Good morning. Now this isn't a deliberate ploy to cheese off those of you who don't have weather like this, but I'm on the coast. This is Hospitalet de Llobregat. No, it isn't. It's Hospitalet del Infant, and I'm doing a coastal urban ride today. I wasn't going to start here, but it's such a beautiful day. I'm actually adding in another 40 kilometers to the ride to make the most of it. So I was going to do the latter part of this ride last week, but I had a fatal car breakdown on the way here. Luckily, we didn't have any of that today. Since then, the car's been fixed, yes, but we've had the most incredible weather. We had 2 days of rain. The first 12 hours of those 2 days, we had 5.5 inches of rain. Hold on. I should point out though that we're currently travelling through Miami Beach, which is a very popular Spanish resort. This is the N340. It's been superseded by the also toll-free A7, and so it's very little use, but it is based on the Via Augusta, and it was the road that Hannibal took with his elephants when he went to attack Rome in about 250-ish BC. So I'm doing this coastal route for a couple of reasons. One is that I've been touring around my bit of Catalonia and I haven't really shown you the coast yet, and it is why most people come here. And if they don't come for the beaches, they come for the drinking in Salou, where we're going, and history in Tarragona. And the other reason is because I promised, I think it was G20 from cyclingstream.com, which is the most amazing website if you like to watch cycle racing. The thing that makes the site for me is the chat page, which is on the same page. You don't have to watch it, you can maximise the screen just to watch the biking, but some of the Tour de France stages that end up in a bunch of sprint, 6 hours, pretty dull. Another cyclist, sorry. Most are pretty miserable so far. He gave me a full hola! But this scrolling chat page to the side of the images is what makes it for me. It's really turned into a fraternity, a band of brothers and sisters who are mad keen on cycle racing. Incredibly knowledgeable, most of them, and I'm sort of sitting back and listening or reading in awe of their encyclopedic knowledge of all things cycling. But it's also a very friendly and inclusive place. And one of the, obviously I chat about my videos, and one of the guys on there, I think it was G20, said, I used to come on holiday around this area, love to see what it looks like now. So G20, this one's for you. This is Cambrils. Cambrils is a fishing port originally. The Phoenicians founded it in 6th century BC. Cambrils is predominantly a Spanish destination, as in a destination for Spanish tourists, whereas next door Salou is almost entirely foreigners and almost entirely Brits, 60% Brits I think. But this one, Cambrils, I think is absolutely lovely. More seafood restaurants you can shake a stick at. I took Iron Resolve. It's a pastry and coffee shop right on the side of the beach. No, not today, not today, not for this waistline. There's a slight problem though. Now, by law, I'm supposed to be using this cycle path because it's been provided for me. It's a 10 km/h speed limit on it, which is impossible to stick to. The other interesting thing about Cambrils is that in the 15th and 16th centuries, it was a nest of pirates. And they conducted raids on shipping and towns up and down the coast. Now I did promise myself I would poodle along the front on this bit, because you aren't next door to the beach. Even though it's a very slow speed limit, it's just rather special. I like it. It would be a great place to come and retire to, Cambrils, because you've got the cycle path. You can see all these people having a morning constitutional or a jog. There's lots of restaurants. It's a fabulous beach. And not too far behind here is La Musara, which is one of my videos. It's a magnificent climb into the Prades Mountains. It's pretty much got everything. And this is the much more popular resort of Salou. So this is a place of drunk Brits, karaoke, pubs, out of season. It's really lovely. That was a monument to Miami Platja, who invaded the Balearics on behalf of the Crown of Aragon in his time. So he gets a monument for being a warmonger. Why not? It's obviously got more curry houses than you can throw an onion bhaji at. It's got 2 Greg Norman designed golf courses. It's got Port Aventura, which is one of the bigger adventure parks, you know, roller coasters, etc. in this part of Europe, and it's got a water theme park. I mean, it's perfect really for families. Most of these restaurants are shut and there's just no one here. A few residents. It's a pity though, because like I said, it's a perfect place to come in the winter. But in this closed season, so many construction vans and the smell of paint as people do their out of season repairs. It goes down there. So I'm off script and off piste, so let's see how we go. I mean, I'm not making judgments, but that was a 4-way police stop testing for alcohol at, I don't know what it is, about midday, 11:30 on a Tuesday morning. I'm sure it's not anything to do with Brits and drinking, and I think they're umbrella pines. Upset mushrooms, I don't know. This next bit is La Pineda, and it's an extra bit of Salou. It's tacked on the side, and it's sort of the resort if you go to Port Aventura Park, roller coaster park. It's Woody Woodpecker World, but it doesn't have quite such an attractive aspect because it's right next door to Tarragona port. Bon Nadal, happy Christmas. It's not even bloody December yet, bastards. I forgot to take a clip of Port Aventura. I hope I showed you Woody Woodpecker, which is quite funny in its own right, because Disney World was getting really popular at the time. No, it had been for years. And I think it was Universal made Port Aventura, and so they needed a cute icon. They didn't have a Mickey Mouse, all they had was Woody Woodpecker, and so to start off with, it was him who adorned all the advertising for Port Aventura. That's an old watchtower that was converted into a farm. Now we're about to head into Tarragona, but we're coming at it from an unusual side for most, because we're coming in from the port side, and Tarragona port has been extremely important since the Romans, not before them. Others thought it had a bad anchorage, and it wasn't until they started building breakwaters that it became safer. We're actually cycling along the existing breakwater later, and it's a whopper. But what you do get from this side is all the industry that's related to all of the imports and exports that go through the port. Fortunately, it does mean we've got to go along a dual carriageway, but we are allowed to. Now, one of the things that the port brings in are cars. About 250,000 cars every year. Well, it's been road closures galore. I am completely lost. I don't know where I am at all. I think I'm on the wrong side of the railway tracks. We'll get to the port somehow. So we're now at the new Port Tarragona, which is a super yacht marina. Let's go and see some super yachts. Well, that's fairly super. Flying Manta. There's me. Tatoosh from the Cayman Islands. Now that's pretty super. That's huge. With a sailing yacht on the side. Look at that. Tatoosh. I'll look up who owns that later. These are the old railway buildings that used to serve the port, but they've moved the railway now, and so they're just part of the port complex. Oh yes, oh my goodness. Some very, very super yachts over there. Go and have a look. They're a statue to the old cranes that used to serve the port. Georgetown, Doha. There's a really, really big super yacht on the far side. But the Emir de Qatar of Qatar, he bought this port and he made it into a super yacht marina, kind of for his mates. Oh, that's much more like it. I've noticed these vertical prows are very popular these days. That is classy. Talitha Hamilton. And then you've got some absolutely gigantic things here. Look at that thing. Off into the sunset, I think that. I think that's a ketch, isn't it? Beautiful. So we're up on the harbour wall, and this is quite some wall. As I think I mentioned before, it's 5 kilometres long. We're going to the end, and then turning around and coming back again. It's going to be a little bit dull for me. I'll imagine you find it absolutely fascinating. It's pretty big at this end. All sorts of all parts of the dock complex are involved here. Right next door to the posh bit with all the posh boats. And then you've got all this. A little bit further on there's even a coal refinery. Ooh. So 4 million tonnes of coal is imported through the port of Tarragona every year. And it goes off to 4 coal-powered power stations. But only one of them's in Spain. Why? Oh, waves must wash over. Wow. And it's the last bit. Last couple of kilometres, I think. Much more industrial at this end. Floating dock. It's never a good time to discover that you've forgotten your phone and actually left it on the front seat of the car in full view. but exactly halfway around your trip is about as bad as it can get, really. 47 kilometers in, and now I'm going to be worried that someone smashed the glass. I'm worried because I'm supposed to stay in contact with my wife today because of all the traffic and me not being used to cities, because we've still got to get around Tarragona yet. It's quite a big city, 100,000 people. So she'll be worried, I'll be worried that she's worried that the car's been smashed into. Just heading up into the main part of Tarragona now. It has its own beach, which is very beautiful. It's literally overlooked by the town itself. We'll be up there in a minute. We're going up this hill. It's only the only real hill of the day, but it tops off at 17%. I'll be enjoying that in a moment. But I did have to come this way because it offers the best view of Tarragona's Roman amphitheatre. Tarragona was very much the second city to Rome in the Roman Empire. It was favoured by some of the Caesars, who actually, like Augustus, who actually lived here. Now, I'm not sure if it's entirely true, but apparently Pontius Pilate was born in Tarragona as well. Might just have to pause, I like this song. Let's go and have a look. These are, I believe, the medieval walls, not the Roman walls, but the lower bit with the big stones is Roman. I don't understand. Some fancy cobbles. Now, I came here for this building, which is in the process of restoration. So I'll have to come back another time, talk about it then. Traffic lights. It's just been stop-start all the way around. Definitely not a city boy. In cleats, out of cleats, in cleats, out of cleats. I'm not happy doing that sort of hopping on and off the pavement type thing that you see people, couriers doing. Not really me. Pretty much of a wipeout Tarragona. It's an incredible Roman imperial city. We didn't really get to see much because I couldn't take my hands off the handlebars. So apologies for that. And we're now back on a dirty great road, lots of traffic. So I need to concentrate again for a while. Not long. It's been an almost constant commentary of appalling language. I'm so glad I cut it all from the final edit. Such morons, aren't they? City drivers. But golly, just where you need to be really on your game, these people seem to be the worst. Really not hoping to join that motorway. Certainly lost. Really could do with my phone, with my GPS. Not quite the charming antique road to Cambrils that we were supposed to be taking. It's yet another dual carriageway, but I got hopelessly lost. And I just decided to follow the signposts and just get home, really. There's a Lidl. See, I would have seen that Lidl if I'd gone the other way. So what have we learned today? Well, we've learned that I don't like towns. I don't like stopping and starting. I don't like traffic lights. I don't like idiots in cars, and there are more in town. I also don't like dual carriageways without hard shoulders. They aren't very nice. This one is a beauty. Look at that. I know I shouldn't say it because obviously I'm a huge cycling enthusiast, but I'm a bit bored. It's This road's a bit boring. This hard shoulder's a bit boring. I just want to get back and have a nice cup of tea. And that's it. Getting back just as it's starting to spot with rain. It's been pretty perfect. It went for the slight stress of not having a phone with me. But it's another 92 kilometres towards the goal, which is edging closer. So thanks for watching. This photo was taken about 15 minutes after I left. What an opportunity missed.